You're listening to Vaquero News, the Valley Student Station.
Good morning, Vaqueros. Today is Monday, March 20th, and it is currently 67 degrees outside. Pretty chilly. We are coming to you live from our Edinburgh studio. I am your host, Rodolfo Alvarado, and this is Vaquero News. A McAllen baker is participating in a competition by the Food Network. Here's Timothy Chapman with the news.
Season 9 of the Food Network Spring Baking Championship premiered on March 6th with 12 bakers from all across the country getting to compete, with one being Michelle Henry from McAllen. Spring Baking Championship consists of host Jesse Palmer welcoming 12 bakers to the Spring Baking Kitchen, where they are challenged to prove their passion by using their unique skills to recreate the dessert that sparked their initial love for baking, according to foodnetwork.com. Owner and pastry chef of Iris Street Bakery, Michelle Henry, said her first memories of baking in the kitchen was with her mom. Along the way, she realized she was developing a passion for baking, which led to her first opportunity of baking a cake for a longtime friend's wedding, even though she was also very apprehensive of the challenge.
My friend, she asked me, "Oh, can you make my wedding cake?" And once I finished and I took a step back and I looked at the wedding cake, like now when I think about the cake, I'm just like, oh God, like nobody look at it. Please, nobody even think about it. But at the time I was so happy because I'm like, I made a wedding cake. And after that, like that's when I decided that I wanted to go to culinary school.
She said she has competed in baking competitions before, but there is nothing quite like being in the Spring Baking Championship, which has been a whole different experience.
It was just like a really intense competition because what you see on TV, how like the time goes by and they're just like, okay, bakers, you have like 3 hours to do something. It doesn't feel like 3 hours. When you're in such a high pressure situation, you're just like, I know what I need to do, but you're just like, everything's spiraling.
Registered nurse and Michelle Henry's sister, Renee Henry, said her family noticed early on the skills Michelle had and encouraged her to pursue these baking competitions.
She has always had that basic creativity and that basic knowledge of baking and things like that. And my brother and I had been really pushing her to apply for some of these shows because, you know, we saw her talent early on. And I mean, she's really good.
To learn more on how to watch Michelle along with the other bakers on Season 9 of Spring Baking Championship, visit foodnetwork.com. This is Timothy Chapman for Vaquero Radio.
A podcast created by the UTRGV Writing Department is aiming at highlighting local writers here in the Valley. Here's Edgar Garcia with more.
UTRGV's Creative Writing Department started a podcast to promote the Masters of Fine Arts program and culture around the Valley, where graduate teaching assistant Andres Torres Scott and graduate assistant Mirabel Sanchez interview local talent in the Valley and beyond in a show called Right by the Valley. The podcast showcases and interviews local authors with connections to the Rio Grande Valley about their work. The guests of the podcast have ranged from students at UTRGV like graduate student Jay Villanueva to UTRGV professors like Professor Elvia Ardelani and noted authors such as Leticia Ureta. All of them using the lens of growing up around the Valley and a tie to Hispanic culture so deeply infused within the culture here. The podcast started as the brainchild of the UTRGV Writing Department in order to bring attention to the program and truly reach out to the people of the Valley, as Andres Torres Scott speaks about.
We thought about it with head of the department, Dr. Emi Perez. She was thinking about new ways to reach new or prospective writers around the Valley and, of course, around all across the country, Texas, even in Mexico. So one of the ways to do that was to use more thoroughly the social media. And one of those fields that we haven't explored or that the MFA didn't explore yet was to make a podcast.
The podcast's purpose is also to promote the creative writing program within the school, which Maribel Sanchez has said is an unknown to the student body.
Just bringing awareness to the fact that mastering in creative writing is even a possibility. I know that I've tabled some events before and people will come up and they'll be so surprised at the idea of mastering or majoring in creative writing.
Graduate assistant at UTRGV Jay Villanueva was the second ever interviewee of the podcast for his poetry in his book, Roadside Fruteria, and is a future host of the podcast. He spoke about how the podcast will serve as a gateway for the audience to see who these writers are.
It allows people who are listening to kind of get an insight on who these artists are, who these writers are, who they are as people, and they get to talk about writing and what they write about. And And a lot of us have a lot of stories to tell when it comes to like, living on the borderlands, when it comes to being Latine, or
Yeah.
however else, whatever else they decide to talk about during their episode.
The Right by the Valley podcast is available on Spotify and various other platforms such as Amazon Podcasts and Anchor. I am Edward Garcia from Vaquero Radio.
And McLean goes up and throws down a monster dunk. That fires up the UTRGV Fieldhouse.
And now time for Vaquero Sports.
Football isn't the only sport being added to UTRGV in the coming semesters, but what are all the updates on the swimming and diving teams along with the expanded spirit programs? Here's Kevin Aleman with the details.
With UTRGV recently hiring the new football coach, not many updates have been given regarding the women's swimming and diving team and the expanded spirit program. Vaquero Radio spoke with both the Senior Associate Athletic Director for Communications, Jonah Goldberg, and head coach for the spirit program, Isela Gomez, for updates. The new head coach for the Spirit program, who was hired in October 2022 alongside her colleague Rodolfo Mata, Isela Gomez is an alumni from UTRGV's legacy school, UTPA. She is in charge of bringing spirit and traditions to the university. According to a press release by UTRGV Athletics, the expansion will open up about 250 opportunities on both the Edinburgh and Brownsville campuses. Gomez elaborated on the Spirit program expansion.
The word expansion, it is exactly what it sounds like. So we're just going to kind of make the program a little bit bigger so it's a little more accessible to all the students on the Brownsville campus.
Students can also look forward to possibly seeing the Spirit program compete in traditional cheer competitions, thanks to the new program coordinator for Spirit and Traditions, Rudy Mata, who wants to take the program to the next level.
They have a past of being a national champion back in the UTPA days for traditional cheer, and I kind of want to bring that legacy back.
The new women's swimming and diving coach is planned to be hired by the summer of 2023. Jonah Goldberg gave insight on what characteristics they are looking for in the new coach.
We're always looking for somebody who's going to be able to help develop young people into the next generation of successful people and leaders.
The new City of Far Natatorium, which is the new swimming and diving team, has many advantages that not many universities have access to. Specifically, the platform boards the facility includes, according to Goldberg.
One of the advantages that we have here in the Valley, particularly competing at the City of Far Natatorium, is that we have platform diving. And most places have the springboard, like the blue board, whereas the platform is it's a flat surface. And very few college swimming and diving programs have access to one.
The City of Far Natatorium is open to UTRGV students by providing their school ID and are welcome to use the equipment. For more information, please visit the UTRGV website and go to goutrgv.com. This is Kevin Aleman for Vaquero Radio.
And now for this week's events calendar.
Join the Involvement Ambassadors and decorate your very own flower pot from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Tuesday at the Brownsville Campus Student Union Lawn. Students can also join the UTRGV Student Government Association for the opportunity to meet their college deans during the Meet the Deans event. The event will take place from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Wednesday at the Brownsville campus in the Grand Salon, and at the same time from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. on Tuesday, March 28th at the Edinburgh Ballroom. Those are your events for the week.
Now for this week's campus weather report.
Today will be in the high 60s and get to a low near 62 tonight. Things will then begin to warm up on Tuesday with a high near 81 and a small 20% chance of rain in the afternoon. Wednesday will be in the mid-80s, Thursday will bring a high near 90, and Friday will be sunny with a high near 89. That is your forecast for the week. And that is the newscast for the week. Weekly editorial columns will be coming out every Monday where you can read about our staff's opinions on about anything and everything. You can also read our news stories on our website, utrgvradio.com. Make sure to download the Radio Effects app and listen to your favorite DJ shows by favoriting Vaquero Radio. Check out our YouTube channel so you can watch our newscast and have the latest news from UTRGV and the Valley. Don't forget to watch KVAQ TV on social media or on VCAST monitors around campus. You can also read the Rider newspaper by picking up a copy from newsstands located around the university or their website. From now on, our weekly newscast will also be broadcasted every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Join us next week, same time, same place, only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley Student Station.
This has been Vaquero News.